Hi everyone, my name is Cedric Semi. My colleague name is John Amelie. Today we are diving into a fascinating topic of academic learning time. This video is important for you parents, teachers, and school board of management. So I hope you may learn from this video. Before we proceed on, these are some of things that we are going to cover in our video presentation. First, we are going to define academic learning time, understanding academic learning time, factors influencing the academic learning time, measuring academic learning time, strategies to maximize academic learning time, challenges and solution, and finally conclusion. So here we go. What is academic learning time? Academic learning time, or ALT, is referred to the time students spend actively engaged in a learning task that are directly related to their educational goals. According to Visa and Bellina 1985, it stated that ALT is the amount of time during which students are actively, successfully, and productively engaged in the learning. ALT is not just a hour spent in the classroom, but rather than a quality of time and how effectively it contributes to student learning. As stated by Joyce Whale and Calhoun 2023, when allocated time is equal to the available time and students are highly engaged, the success rate will be higher. Going to the understanding the academic learning time. Academic learning time basically consists of three main components, which are: one, time on task; two, time spent actively engaged in learning activities; and finally, three, the time effectively utilized for achieving learning objectives. We are explaining its firstly, time on task. In this component, it refers to total amount of time that students spend focusing basically on learning activities during an instructional period of time. It includes the time spent actively participating in a task as well as work related to their lesson and objectives. Maximizing time on task. It ensures that students are learning and making progress towards their educational goals. Next, time spent actively engaged in learning activities. In this component, it emphasizes the quality of the time students engage during an instructional period. It goes beyond a mere presence in the classroom to focus on extents to which students are actively thinking, interacting, and about the materials that they've been taught. Active management can be taken in various forms. This may include classroom discussion, group work, problem-solving activities, and hand-on practice. With time effectively utilized for achieving learning objectives. In this component, it assists the extent to which instructional time is utilized effectively to help students achieve their specific goals. It may involve aligning instructional activities, assessment, resources with the intended learning outcomes to ensure that every moment in the classroom contributes to meaningful student learning. Utilization of time may involve a careful planning, monitoring, adjustment of the instructional strategies to meet a diverse needs of learners and maximize their academic growth. It is important to distinguish ALT from the total time spent in the schools, as not all the time is necessary to dedicate the meaningful learning experience of the student. My colleague John Amili will explain the factors influencing the academic time.
Apart from what my friends have shared already, now we'll discuss some of the factors that affect or influence students' performance or that influence academic learning time for each students. And we have the two factors to discuss. First one is external factors. The first external factors is classroom environment. Inside and outside of the classroom, which must be suitable, that will be conducive for the students to go and sit or learn something. And the next external factors is availability of the resources, availability of the stationaries inside the classroom or outside of the classroom, availability of the technologies, for example, computer lab, or you might have libraries. That is, students can go and further their learning. And the next is the teaching method. Their teachers uses or used to teach their students. They must be well experienced to deliver the content they have, so that can boost or help the students understanding effectively. On the other hand, we have the internal factors. This also influence the academic performance for students. The first internal factors is attention span. The time where students will able to sit and acquire particular information where teachers are delivering. We have the different level of capability of understanding by each students. Some students they have a IQ. They will read and understand, or when the teacher talk, they easily understand. Some middle and some are lower. So the time spent for each students to acquire or understanding one particular something or component in a lesson, it depends on the time spent. Whether the time the teacher is conducting or delivering the lesson is too short or too long. And that will determine the academic performance for the students. And the next is students' motivation. How the teacher motivate the students to learn something inside the classroom or during that academic learning period time. And the next is individual lives or learning style of our students. How they walk into the classroom, or how they sit and learn something. Some students, they carry away with their own tasks. So some students, they focus on what the teacher have said. So different students have different learning styles to understand something. That we're going to talk about to influence on academic learning time is measuring academic learning time. How are you going to measure? You're going to adjust or you're going to minimize on all this. So measuring academic learning time is essential for educators or trainers or teachers to assess the effectiveness of their teaching strategies and identify the areas of improvement. This comes when the teacher do their evaluation, reflect on what they have been done or they have been taught or teaching in the classroom. So they have to go back and evaluate and identify their strength and weakness. This can help understanding the learning time. There are various methods and tools available for assessing academic learning time. That is ranging or starting from observation technique to self-reporting techniques. The observational technique is you have to observe how the students are learning something inside the classroom. And the self-reporting message is like you go back and you evaluate, you reflect on what you have been teaching or what you have been going through with your students at that certain time or period of time in the classroom. Accurate measurement of academic learning time is essential for educational planning. For example, you have to be well prepared. As a teacher, you have to be well prepared before conducting your lesson. And resource allocation, there must be resources that you're going to based on or you're going to teach based on accordingly. And evaluating the impact and intervention aimed at teaching students learning. The next thing we're going to talk about in our video is the strategies to maximize academic learning time, the steps or the ways that we can improve on our learning time. Now let's explore some practical strategies for maximizing academic learning time in the classroom. Effective classroom management technique, success, establishing clear expectation and routines for each teachers to go in and teach. There must be an exact routine for particular teachers to conduct their lesson. And this can help minimize disruption and maximizing instructional time. So you must know when to come in and when to finish up your lesson. So you must plan everything accordingly. Differentiated instruction allow to meet diverse needs of students, ensures that learning activities are engaging and relevant to all learners. Additionally, the technology can enhance students' engagement and provide opportunities for personalized learning experience for particular students. While maximizing academic learning time, we might look at some of the challenges and solutions to deal with this. So while maximizing academic learning time is crucial and important for educators or teachers, often face various challenges in achieving these goals. Common problems include classroom disruption, student apathy, and time constraints. However, there are several or certain skills or strategies or ways that as educators or teachers we can employ to overcome these challenges, such as implementing behavior management strategies. So when you are implementing or when you are putting something in your classroom for your students, they can abide by and they can work towards it. So you are managing your classroom or your students. Next is you are going to foster a positive learning environment, meaning that your classroom must be neat, clean, and conducive for the students' learning. And they must always provide ongoing learning, support, and encouragement for students. Because some students are lower students, so they have the low capability of understanding something. So they need consultation, motivation. So you have to provide ongoing support for each student. Identify your students. Who are they? Identify their background. So you are going to enable them to achieve their goals or your learning objectives that you are going to teach in the classroom. As we are about to conclude or wrap up or summarize what we have gone through, it is clear that academic learning time is important or crucial determinant of student success. By understanding the factors that influence academic learning time, implementing effective learning strategies, and overcoming challenges, educators or trainers or teachers can create learning environment that can maximize students' engagement and promote meaningful learning experience. And remember, it's not just about the quantity of the time the students spend in the classroom, rather, but the quality of that time and that truly matters. Thank you for joining me in exploring the importance of academic learning time today.